Whether it's a movie night or just midday, Skinny Pop is a salty snack that keeps on giving. Made with just 3 simple ingredients for an irresistibly delicious taste and a large serving size that lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop, popular for a reason. Shop Skinny Pop now.
I'm going back to bed.
It's Giles from 101 Part-Time Jobs to kick off Independent Venue Week in collaboration with Beavertown. We're here at Bristol at the Louisiana, where tonight LICE are headlining. It's a stacked bill, loads of great bands. I'm really looking forward to seeing Blood Wizard. We're going to go inside and speak to some of the people making the show happen. Your name's Mary.
Hello, Miles. My name's Mary.
Miles, it's Giles.
Oh, Giles.
Jesus. Get off to a good start. So, Mary, we have just walked into Louisiana off the street, and the first thing you told us is you've been running this place for 38 years?
We're in our 38th year.
When you told us that, you went straight into what it was like before there was music here.
Yeah.
So tell us what it was like before there was music here.
Actually, I'll put that right. The Louisiana was called originally the Bathurst. It was a hotel. We took over in 87, and we decided we were going to have a carvery and a restaurant. The early recession in the early 90s, everything went wrong. So we decided to return to what we knew best, which was music.
Yeah.
And we started putting on live gigs. Placebo was one of our first.
Okay.
Coldplay played here in their early days, a long time ago. Muse has a residency here. The list goes on and on and on and on and on.
Excellent.
So,
and you say music was the thing that you knew best?
yeah. Well, my son's a musician, Mick. He's a musician. And we ran a music venue in Bristol in the early 80s. Made a success. That was called the Old Lock and Wear. We didn't have anybody famous. It was all local. People that were fairly famous in their own right, but generally local bands. So we did 4 nights a week in the lock of music. We had a late license, so bands wouldn't go on until 11 o'clock at night.
Great.
And here it's different.
So was that quite a shock when you opened up this place and you had bands that became
people
pop stars?
didn't realise that we'd already been doing live music, and they thought by putting music on it was a novelty for us, but it wasn't. We knew what we were doing as regard to booking bands. I initially started doing it, and then Mick took over, my son took over. We had very good promoters. Connell from Crosstown Concerts, he bought the likes of Placebo down here, Super Furry Animals, way back when.
Quality.
So,
Yeah. How's it changed over the last 10, 20 years?
the bands are still absolutely brilliant. We try to promote young local bands that go to BIM. A few of my staff are musicians, which is lovely.
Quality.
And we try and encourage them to, do well in the business. Some of our staff, old staff, have gone on to promote, go on tour with big bands, and they've travelled the world, which is absolutely great. And Alfie, he's playing in the band upstairs tonight. He goes on tour with, I can't remember who, but a famous band who supported Robbie Williams last year in Australia. And so we've got a brilliant team. Some of our staff come here and they're art students, or they're students at BIM, and they end up going on and doing their own thing, and becoming good promoters in their own right.
Yeah, and this is where they learn.
I
saw a great photo. There's a great photo over there of Joe Talbot from Idols. Do you remember that show?
Worked in my bar.
He worked at your bar?
Joe worked for us for nearly 4 years. Yeah.
Brilliant. What was he like to work for? Well, to work for you.
I love Joe. He's a good boy. No, he's a lovely lad. The whole band are lovely, actually. But he's a good boy. It's lovely when we see the younger bands, like Idols, who started off just being a local band, becoming brilliant.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Mary. Ruby, I'm Giles. This is 101 Part-Time Jobs. It's our podcast speaking to mostly bands most of the time, but also music fans and people who want to be involved in music. Can you tell us a bit about why you're here today and how you got involved in Independent Venue Week?
Yeah, sure. So I volunteer for Independent Venue Week, currently here at the Louisiana. I love independent music and independent venues. I'd been to like a couple of venues, but I've never been here before, and I'm absolutely loving it. And I think this week's a great way of finding new venues, because you might not know the bands that are playing, and you can go along and see something new and support the area. So
It's a great way to live.
Yeah, no.
How did you get involved? Like, who did you email someone?
I was following the Instagram, so I just messaged them, got put on a mailing list, said which venues I wanted to do, or like what days I was free, and got sent a rota, and now I'm here. So and free t-shirt. So
Free t-shirt.
Yeah.
Free threads.
Yeah.
What's the best independent show that you've been to?
It's a toss-up. Yard Act did a residency at Bristol Social Club in Leeds. That was incredible because their opening act was Nish Kumar, and they brought on CMAT. And the Brood is such a wonderful venue to have that happen. It was beautiful. Or the Baths in Ipswich, which is a very small venue, and I come from Suffolk, and we don't have a lot of venues. It's quite sparse. A lot of farmers listening to music in their tractors. But I went to see Vistas play there, and they had like all local support. It was absolutely packed, and it was just such a nice vibe. It was such a lovely gig. So a toss up between those two.
What is your perfect night at an independent venue?
Somewhere that's got good food beforehand. Somewhere nice to drink before the acts come on. And enough space to sort of mingle round, go a bit forward if you want to, stay at the back, and just to be fair, any independent venue.
Do you know what I love is that like glow on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning after the night before the gig, where you're like, that was a great time. I didn't expect
you
to
feel it in your knees.
And like you discovered a band you didn't know before. It's a brilliant feeling, isn't it?
Well, it's been the same tonight. So I watched the sound check for New Cut and for Eva and the band as they signed their and both of them were incredible, and I'd never heard the bands before, so it's nice. It's so nice getting to go to independent venues because you get to see bands as supports or as smaller sets that then go on and do big tours. So
Ruby, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I'm Emily. I'm a live sound engineer, and I've been in Bristol for about 4 years now, I want to say, and I've been doing live sound as my job for about a year and a half, so I'm still quite new to it. But
quality. Is it like a difficult path to become a sound engineer? It seems like there's no a particular official route to do it.
Oh, definitely not. I think I got quite lucky. I basically just got in contact with different venues around Bristol and asked if they'd take me on, like, any engineers for me to shadow. And so I got in touch with quite a few venues, and only a couple came back to me.
That's more than a couple of nothing.
Well, exactly, and it's quite nice because obviously the venues that I started in when I didn't know anything, I'm now working in. So that's really nice, and I just feel really supported by the engineers, like the other engineers and the members of staff at the venues as well. So
what were those first like shadowing shifts like? Because you're looking over someone's shoulder, try and not get in the way. But also you want to be like show your true enthusiasm.
Yeah, for sure. It was quite nerve-wracking. But again, I think I just got really lucky with the engineers that I was shadowing, and they were just really keen for me to ask as many questions as I wanted to. And the same with the bands as well. Like, I kind of quite quickly found the best way to get the most out of the shows was to talk to the artists and say, look, like, I'm new, I'm learning, I'm sorry if I get things wrong or I'm in the way, but like, can I ask questions kind of thing? And usually, like, I can't think of many times where it just wasn't a really positive experience. So
The thing about these independent venues is that you come in here and you see the people working behind the bar, the people who run the place, people who are here day in, day out. You're like, oh, this is run by human beings. It's run by people. And there's something really heartwarming about that.
For sure, definitely. And I think especially the more independent and family-run venues, especially like the Louisiana, because it's been the same people for 30 odd years or whatever, and they care about it so much, and they you're doing them a favor by working there, obviously, but They really invest in you and your career and your development.
Where else do you get that?
Well,
It's amazing.
yeah, I don't know.
And you're doing something you care about, and like
Yeah.
something that changes the way you feel.
Yeah,
It's music.
exactly. And yeah, just being surrounded by music and great people all the time, and every day is different, and it's great.
Yeah, quality. What's some of the best bands, the most memorable bands that you did the sound of?
Actually, the first show I ever shadowed was Blood Wizard.
Yeah.
They were playing tonight, and that felt like a really special gig, obviously because it was my first one, and I'd never heard of Blood Wizard before, and they've kind of turned into one of my favourite bands ever, really, and I've seen them a lot of times since. I haven't worked with them since, because obviously I'm doing the downstairs stage and they're upstairs today, but so yeah, that was a really good show, and they're really lovely people, and it's nice because that show I kind of like fell in love with doing live sound as well, so yeah.
What do your weeks look like? You wake up on a Monday morning, what do you do?
Sometimes I don't even know when it is Monday. I'm freelance, so every day's different, every week's different. I mean, kind of quite a nice routine of not having a routine. And I kind of just look over each week or over the next few days and see what shows I'm doing, what venues I'm at, what bands I've got, and kind of just go from there, really.
And you look at these bands, you go and listen to them,
Yeah.
and you find something you never knew before.
Yeah, exactly. You listen to so many different bands, different genres every day, and I'm working another show at the Louisiana on Wednesday, which should be good. There's a band called Peach, which are a really cool band, and I haven't done sound for them before, and I'm really excited to mix them, so that should be good. And then I'm really looking forward to festival season as well. We're still in winter, but definitely looking forward to the summer and starting to work some festivals again.
Quality. And for people listening to this who want to get into working in sound, no matter what age they are, no matter what experience they have, what would you say to someone who loves music, wants to be involved behind the desk, but isn't quite sure how?
Just get in touch with venues and say that you're interested. When you're at gigs, go and talk to whoever's behind the desk. Most of the time, we're really friendly people, and we'll talk to you and we'll show you what we've done and why we've done it and that kind of thing. Be prepared to do a lot of work for free.
Yeah.
That's what shadowing is, but it really pays off, and yeah, it's really enjoyable.
And don't spill your pint over the desk.
Oh my God, no.
Have you ever done that?
No. No.
Me neither.
Oh.
No, I haven't.
Nice.
Just before LICE took the stage at the Louisiana, I spoke with Alistair Shuttleworth, singer in the Bristol band who played their second ever gig here and recorded their latest album, Third Time at the Beach, here as well. Okay, Alistair from LICE, could you tell us your name, where you're from and what you're into?
Alistair Shuttleworth, Scorpio, 3rd November 95. What am I into? Music. Music, talking about music, playing music, trying my best. What can I say? In the band, LICE.
When you come to an independent venue where you know so many people, how do you deal with it? Do you say a little bit of a hi to everyone? Or do you pick your people and have conversations?
Well, being Alistair Shuttleworth, sword of the independent venue market, beloved by all, I'm a pretty big deal. And you know what? I just give everyone the time they need. Sometimes I don't see any music at all. Sometimes I don't get home for days, weeks, months. What year is it? I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. Because I am here to do one thing and one thing only. And that is to hang out and... sorry, I just saw silence over there. Music.
What does music in Bristol look like to you? You know, when you think about the first show you went to here, or most important show you came to here, where does your mind track back to?
People ask me sometimes, how would you define the Bristol sound today? And I would say that so many of the most interesting projects from this city are reconciling elements of, I guess, a guitar band from a performance perspective with ideas from electronic music, from the city's rich sound system culture. Hence, you get projects like Scalar, you get projects like Bad Tracking, You get a project like Jerome, who is somewhere here. You get all these wonderful experimental things that have a foot in both camps. And what it means is they fit in loads of different lineups. You can go see a guitar band and see some very heavy, very interesting experimental electronic music, and it all fits and it all works. More of that, please, other parts of the country.
What's your ideal night out? You know, it's Friday. You've cooked yourself some nice cheap dinner at home.
Yeah.
None of your friends are around. What do you do?
Well, I'd probably be doing this right now. Coming to Louisiana to play a cool show in the company of some great bands. Maybe it's because we were just talking about Bristol music, but it's got me thinking I would love to see, not seen them in a while, Kinlaw and Franco Franco. One of my favorite live music acts in Bristol or anywhere else. Very, very special stuff. Check out their album, Mezzi Umani, Mezzi Machini.
We were just admiring the carpet upstairs here in the Louisiana. What are the hallmarks of a good independent venue for you, Alistair?
Good sound, happy staff, gotta have happy campers, good lighting, not that it's put that at the bottom of the list actually, we'll reorder later, and most importantly, courageous and considered programming and promotion of that programming. But you bring in people from the grassroots community starting out, doing cool things, and you give them a platform and you nurture them, then you're a part of a rich and vibrant culture.
Alistair, thanks so much. I got one question for you.
Yes?
When you're playing a show like tonight,
Yeah.
you're getting ready for this, the mid-afternoon, you have a couple of halves of shandy, probably Beavertown.
Yeah.
What are the feelings that are going through your mind? I mean, there's like perhaps a little bit of nerves playing because you're in front of people, it's totally normal. What's the fuel inside of you before a show, during a show?
No nerves at all. I am a rock made out of steel, made out of another rock containing other rocks. I'm just a big old Russian doll of rocks and steel.
You're a treasure trove of Russian doll and rocks.
Indeed, absolutely. And I would say what goes through my head, I just think, wow, I can't wait to go play in the greatest, most criminally underrated project in the history of music, and to rock the people. And to do a celebratory jig after or during the performance. And what else did you ask?
I mean, you covered a lot of it there.
Okay. Well, I'll just say, keep on trucking, truck away in the cartoon world, you know, with the little buzzing bees and talking toasters, and you know, you'll be all right.
Thank you, Alistair. You got a sound check now. Thank you for the time.
Love you.
We are here at Independent Venue Week in Bristol.
Hiya.
I don't think we're allowed to come here and talk about independent venues without speaking with you, Jeff.
Hello, I'm Jeff. Yeah, this has been a really amazing night. This venue, to me, has done so much for me, like the Louisiana over the years.
Yeah.
I think I've worked out that it's been nearly 24 years that I've been coming to shows here.
Brilliant.
And for me, it's more than just a room and a stage.
Yeah.
As per like most independent venues, when you walk inside of them, there's real character to a lot of them. I mean, this place has put up with me for many years.
Yeah.
Like literally, I used to come out here and almost camp outside here.
That's
sometimes
funny.
because of like if the show was sold out, then they'd come down early to obviously want to get in, or sometimes it was just because I didn't have anywhere to stay and I wasn't living in Bristol, so I'd literally sometimes turn up with a sleeping bag, like kind of waterproof.
Wow.
And you know,
it's places of community, right? It's people,
and
people are accepting. People talk to one another.
Yeah. Well, it's also for me, 'cause, like, I know that it's also for a lot of other people who suffer with social anxiety. You come to here and there's a structure. You know what time the doors are going to be. You usually have an idea of what time the bands are going to be on. You know what time it's going to finish.
Yeah.
And also it takes that pressure off because of, you're all in the same room to see the same thing.
Yeah. What are your most memorable shows of Louisiana or independent venues in Bristol?
Well, from the Louisiana, I remember seeing Fleet Foxes and Beach House do a co-headline show in here.
Wow.
That was gorgeous. I remember seeing The Armed in here, which was great fun with the 200 BPM strobe lights.
Yeah.
The Scissor Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
They were incredible. They got the entire place disco dancing.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, you know, I think there's so many people out there who think, oh, you know, I'd like to go to a gig, but if I go alone, will I feel awkward? You know, what would you say to those people who want to get involved but don't quite know how to?
I'd partly say do it. I mean, the other thing is that also, like, because for me, I actually find it really difficult in inviting people out to things. Whereas, so I found it easier just turning up to stuff and just going like, I'm going to do this. I'm not sure that everyone would feel the same, but I'd say literally turn up early and sometimes just speak to people.
Yeah, be nice. I mean, you can go up to the bar and just say hi, can't you? What are you looking forward to for the rest of this year now? I mean, it's February now, but I mean, almost February. What shows have you got coming up?
It's all a bit up in the air a little bit because obviously, like, a couple of years ago I had a major fire accident, so I'm still a bit in recovery, but I'm hopefully going to start working on a film.
Brilliant.
A few film ideas.
What about music in Bristol?
Well, actually, it's kind of a bit semi-autobiographical, musical / documentary kind of about me, really.
Yeah, all right. Do it.
I don't know, because I find it difficult with the way that I am and with my body to make plans that I can fully commit to.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I just want to get out and go see some more art and go and see
all the time.
See some bands, but then also go and see how that can inspire other aspects.
Yeah. Well, you're already doing that, Jeff. You've inspired so many people just by your presence, just by going to so many shows in Bristol. I think, you know, people all over the world know about you, and you've given a lot of people a lot of good feeling.
Well, you know, I give back what people give me. Yeah. You know,
Jeff, thanks so much for talking to me. You're an absolute inspiration.
Love you, buddy. Love you too.
Brilliant. Thanks, man. At the end of the show, as people were clearing out the Louisiana after an ace night, I caught up with Kai from Blood Wizard and then Eva Penney, who on her nights off playing music, works behind the bar at this very venue. What is it about independent venues that have been a big part of your life? You know, being a bit of an earnest question there, but you know, life is for talking about.
Of course. Well, so like I said earlier, I'm from Nottingham, which has a bunch of really awesome independent venues as well. I mean, this is like here we obviously hear it in Bristol, Louisiana, which is like an incredible one. But Nottingham is kind of where I grew up and where I started kind of playing music and making music. And there's this kind of thing when you're starting a new band where there's this kind of like wall that you can't break through. And I think that independent venues just, their doors open and they're just like so welcoming. And I think it's a starting point for every musician. And I mean, I can't imagine where I would be without it. So
it's people, isn't it? And I think when there's people, there's like empathy and it's just communication, and then kind of the rest of the magic kind of does itself.
Yeah, that's it. And I think there's just something about like the longevity of like some of the venues are like the same sound engineer for like 30 years, and there's just something kind of like that you can't really beat about that someone's just so like no matter how much you grow as a band, it always seems to be the best nights when you come back to the independent venue, the middle-sized one that you like loved so much growing up. You know, it's kind of like it's a consistent thing and it never changes, and it always like so much fun to celebrate though.
So we're at Independent Venue Week at the Louisiana with Eva Penney and her band that played earlier. Great show.
Thank you.
Kind of a moment suspended in time.
Yeah, a bit quiet.
In a bit of chaos.
Yeah, it was nice. It was like a moment of sort of calmness in between. I mean, like when we were put on the bill with all the other artists, we were kind of like, we feel completely out of place. But like, we've done shows like that before where it's like a bunch of heavy bands and then just us playing sort of quiet acoustic folk music.
Done it before and it'll happen again.
Yeah, exactly. And like also, like I said earlier, like people always want some nice quiet chill stuff as well in between.
What's it like You work behind the bar here.
I do, yes.
What's it like coming to your place of work
Oh man, it's so weird.
to do your very personal art?
I love playing here because it's so familiar, and like all of the staff I know, and like it's so nice because the engineers that are working are always like engineers that you know and you're friends with, and like it's so much easier when you're friends with the engineer, and it's just the show runs so much smoother.
Yeah. And do you think it like feeds your writing and feeds you being an artist working in a place like this, because it's like a 24/7 way of thinking?
Definitely, because like I feel so lucky sometimes that I can just go upstairs and see something that will like provide some sort of inspiration.
Yeah.
It's just a free little well of inspiration.
Thank you, Eva. Thanks for chatting with me.
Thank you so much.
So that was our night at the Louisiana at Independent Venue Week in collaboration with Beavertown. We had a great night, brilliant energy, ace music, and we can't wait to do it all again in Manchester tonight. Click subscribe to keep up with our episodes from Independent Venue Week in collaboration with Beavertown this week. Tonight we're in Manchester, and on Thursday we're in Leeds, where TerraVision are headlining. See you then.